giving you all the trending stories trending right now on Shipping Position Daily. And joining me to discuss this is Oluyinka Onigbinde, is the assistant editor of the paper. Inka, good to have you on the program.
Good to have you, Brownson.
Yes,
nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you on my set.
Thank you.
Now, a lot of stories trending at this time, and of course, as it appears on your TV screen right now. Let's begin with the biggest story we have right now. Lagos Port Terminal operators fret as Lekki Deep Sea Port near operation. Why do you think this is happening?
Well, there's no again saying that, of course, terminal operators in Lagos know that definitely with Lekki Deep Sea Port coming into stream, they are going to lose cargoes. The truth is that, in fact, the import has dropped drastically, and with Lekki Deep Sea Port coming, it means that terminal operators in Lagos and Tinkan Port should be ready, to lose a lot of cargoes. So this is one of the reasons why they feel threatened with the issue of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. And we learned that they actually met with the MD of the Nigerian Port Authority as to dredging the Lagos port. But the truth is that you can't dredge Lagos port more than where it is now. Presently is about 13.5 meters. So if they try to dredge Lagos port, below that, it can lead to collapse of the quayside. So it's something that they really need to look at and see what they need to do about it.
What a big story! And I mean, if you want to know reasons why terminal operators, especially bonded terminals, are shaking at this time, of course, get the details on Shipping Position Daily. Now let's look at some of the story in the headlines. NATO, Amato, others not come to her over plans to engage OPC for security along Port Access Road.
I mean, this is laughable because when you begin to see OPC coming into the ports to come and do the work of security, it makes you look at the country as if we are in a jungle. I mean, what's the work of an OPC at the ports? It baffles me that insecurity in this country, it has gotten to a state whereby people now want to hire their own security to protect themselves. And what Comtoa is doing, I wouldn't say it is bad, but they should have looked at a better way of doing this rather than bringing OPC. Because our Igbo brothers too can as well look at it and say, let me go and bring my hyper people to also protect.
Obakasi. But Yinka, sorry to cut you there. I spoke with, of course, we'll have it later on the program, but I spoke with the national president of Comtoa, and he debunked that. He said OPC was not employed. Yeah,
he actually said they signed an MOU with the leader of the OPC in person of Gani Adams, that one of the security outfits gives high security. But all of us know Gani Adams as the leader of the Odua People's Congress.
All right, of course, we're going to find out more about the story. Of course, that story is on Shipping Position Daily. Now, some of the stories that didn't make it to the headlines, but also big story. The vein valuation is not new as far as the maritime industry is concerned, and the 30-day, as we gradually count down to the 30-day ultimatum that Custom gave to come up with a working system that will be favorable for both, we want to say, freight forwarders, shippers, and even the custom government itself. Now, this story inside Shipping Position has it. Motor dealers, freight forwarders lament, says despite suspension of VIN, cost of clearing vehicles still high. Now, for me, it's worrisome because after the 3-day strike that rocked spot, we saw how crippled the activities were during this period. Freight forwarders are still saying moving cargoes from the ports still remains very expensive.
Well, for me, I believe that they cannot have it all. They called for the suspension of VIN. The government suspended the VIN, and now they are still saying that the cost of clearing vehicle is still on a high side. Well, I spoke to some freight forwarders who said there's a discrepancy of about 50,000 to 60,000 difference between what they used to pay before the introduction of the VIN. But you and I know that the government set a target for Nigerian Customs Service, and they must meet with this target. So we know where this is coming from.
All right, very well said, Oluyinka. Now, another big story that caught my interest in this paper is the story that has to do with remove checkpoints beyond 20 kilometers to border. Reps tell customs. I mean, we see this time and time again where you clear goods from the port, just maybe 1 or 2 kilometers, customs stops you and conduct fresh examination on this one. But Reps is saying, first of all, obey this lay down rule, 20 kilometers. Do you think this is possible?
Yeah, of course, this is possible, and I'm sincerely glad that the rest is taking this on, because particularly they are making reference to Idiroko border. Idiroko border is well known for the numbers of checkpoints we have on that road. I visited the place about 2 weeks ago, and you see we counted about 22 checkpoints. Wow. And
custom checkpoints.
Yeah, these are some of the things that add to the cost of doing business. And because anybody that wants to do business in the country will look at this on the angle of the fact that if I'm supposed to pay at each of those checkpoints, the cost will still be added to the goods, and this is what adds to the cost of doing business in the country. And thank God Reps is coming to actually hammer on this. We don't need to have checkpoints beyond 20 kilometers to the border.
That's what it is. Let's hope that these instructions will be adhered to the later. Thank you very much, Oluyinka.
Thanks for
coming on the program today.
Good to have you.
All right, of course, now if you want to get more information on this one, get a copy of Shipping Position Daily. Now let's move away from that and tell you that as we gradually count down to the 30-day ultimatum set aside by Nigerian Customs to review the VIN policy that will be favorable for both importers. Of course, there have been lots of controversy and uncertainty that surrounds it. This report tells us more.